Tonight on CTV News at 5.
Over the last 6 quarters across the country, we're seeing more exits than entries.
Entrepreneurial drought. More small businesses are closing than opening.
The role that communications officers play is vitally important. It's the start of the chain.
And Lifeline. We take you behind the scenes at a 911 call center.
Showers, drizzle, and fog tonight. The dreary spring weather continues tomorrow.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Panopalis. Thank you for joining us. First at 5 tonight, entrepreneurial drought. Running a small business is tough at the best of times, so it may not come as a surprise that a new study finds these days more businesses are shutting down rather than starting up. As CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, high costs, labor challenges, and economic uncertainty make it hard to keep the doors open, let alone start something new. Hi there, Vanessa.
Hi there, Maria. That's right. And while it's disappointing to hear, it doesn't come as a complete shock. Small businesses are facing rising costs just like everyone else, a struggle Atlantic businesses know a little too well. Small businesses in Canada are closing faster than they're opening, according to a new report by the CFIB.
Over the last 6 months across the country, there has been more exits than entries, meaning there's less small businesses overall. So the foundation of Canada's economy, small businesses from coast to coast to coast, is essentially being eroded.
Hey everyone, Suds in the City here.
This soap company is one casualty. We spoke with owner Carrie Foss last January when her Dartmouth storefront closed their doors after only 1 year in business.
Emotionally, it was very hard. I had wanted a storefront for quite some time. It was definitely a dream.
She says she has made a decent comeback online. Just like the 55% of small business owners in the report, Foss says she too would not recommend starting a business right now.
The economy just doesn't support new businesses. If you do an online business and it's just a side thing for you, you're going to be fine. But if it's something that you rely on for your full income, it's not very encouraging.
And if you're lucky enough to be in business for 7 years and counting, like this Halifax boutique owner, it's not without its challenges.
There are easier ways to fund your lifestyle. I think that in order to be a small business owner in this economy and in this world, you absolutely have to love what you do.
But love isn't always enough. Numerous barriers make it a challenge to run your own shop.
The regulatory environment, the high cost taxes, interprovincial trade, all different elements that at the end of the day seem to discourage business owners or potential business owners in creating businesses.
For those still standing, I hope the community will continue showing support.
There's no risk that our big boxes are going to disappear, but there is a very, very, very good risk that your local business is going to disappear. So shop local whenever possible.
And that local boost is being appreciated now more than ever, especially because 73% of owners reported a lack of confidence in the federal government for support. Maria?
Wow, thank you so much, Vanessa. That's good information. CTV's Vanessa Wright for us in the news center this evening. All right, we're going to head over to the anchor desk now, where Todd Battis is standing by with a look at the headlines. Hi, Todd.
Hi there, Maria. Coming up at 6, 2 members of the Canadian Navy are facing charges stemming from the death of a fellow sailor. That was back in January of 2025. Petty Officer Second Class Gregory Applin died after a vessel capsized during a training exercise in Halifax. We will have more on the story, including a breakdown of the charges at 6 o'clock. New Brunswick RCMP believes a fatal accident on Highway 7 was caused when a driver swerved to avoid hitting a moose. It happened on a section of road that doesn't have any wildlife fencing. People who use that roadway are hoping, of course, that gets changed. We will hear from them tonight at 6 o'clock. New numbers paint a dire picture of the increasing cost of milk. The Canadian Milk Report says the price of milk has risen 5.5% in the last 2 years, and some of the most expensive prices in the report, you guessed it, here in our region. We'll tell you why and who's affected coming up at 6 o'clock. Kayla Mitchell now in the CTV Weather Center with well, some current conditions and rather soggy day for many of us.
Yeah, kind of soggy and foggy around parts of the Maritimes for today. Lots of drizzle in the region. That's that very fine sort of mist that's in the air, but certainly enough that it can get you a little bit on the wet side if you're standing out there in it long enough. Temperatures at this hour are mostly sitting in the single digits with a few exceptions. We do have 10 degrees right now at Shetty Camp in Cape Breton, 13 degrees at St. Stephen in the southwest of New Brunswick, 10 degrees at Greenwood right now, 12 at Yarmouth, and 10 at Shelburne. Let's check in on our current winds. They're mostly out of the east and northeast, and not uncommon this time of the year when we get into this sort of sustained easterly wind that we do see some drizzle in the region as some cooler air off the Atlantic kind of gets drawn back into the Maritime region. The winds right now mainly being sustained between around 15 and 25 kilometers per hour, and we're seeing a few gusts near 30. Over on radar and satellite, a lot of cloud cover in place around the region, and there's more wet weather as we make our way through tonight. It's going to be a further round of some showers, some drizzle and fog. Showers moving in from the west of us right now into western areas of New Brunswick, and that is along basically a line of some pretty dreary and wet spring weather that extends right now from the midwestern United States all the way up through parts of southern Ontario, southern Quebec, and here into the Maritime region. And there's not much movement for this area of cloud cover and April showers at the moment. So we have some similar conditions in the forecast for tomorrow. We'll get into that when I'm back a little bit later on. Maria.
Thank you very much, Ken. So rain or shine, it's always hot tub weather after the break. Saltwater Sean gets in our hot tub. Yes, this isn't the body of water the underwater treasure hunter is used to, but we're glad that he's getting in, what he's been up to, and how you could win this $30,000 hot tub. CTV News at 5. We'll be right back.
Arthritis Society Canada invites you to the East Coast Roast of Steve Murphy. This unforgettable night of comedy and community takes place April 25th in Halifax. Funds raised will support people living with arthritis. Visit eastcoastroast.ca.
Welcome back to CTV News at 5. It's time to reveal our next hot tub guest. Saltwater Sean is literally in hot water. He's used to more cooler waters, I would say, off the coast of Nova Scotia and the Atlantic. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did you find anything down there?
Nothing. Not here.
The valuable thing is the hot tub, actually. What do you think?
This is the nicest hot tub I've ever seen.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, somebody gets to win it, and we'll tell you how in just a minute here. But Saltwater Sean, you have become quite the phenomenon. Can you believe your social media following?
It's a bit crazy to me. I still just my little hobby that I love doing, but now lots of people are watching, right. And so it's kind of surreal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, you basically go underwater looking for treasures, but you're also cleaning up along the way. You're doing some housekeeping down there.
Yeah, that's right. I try to take everything that I can with me.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things that you find down there?
Oh, I've seen everything from old bottles to phones, laptops, to vacuum cleaners, fridges, stove, like everything that is on land is typically in our waterways.
Right.
So I'm not really surprised by what I've seen anymore.
Right. So a lot of that sounds like maybe some treasure, but a lot of junk.
Yeah,
too.
there's definitely a lot of trash in the waterways of this province, and I'm on a mission to kind of expose that and to show that what's underneath these beautiful, like picturesque scenes in the province isn't always pretty.
Mm-hmm. When you get down there, do you sometimes feel a little scared?
No, not really. I'm kind of just used to it now.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you run into any sea life down there?
No, I did run into a pretty nasty snapping turtle in a river a couple of years ago, but other than that, no. That's not been too bad.
Well, I think you're braver than me. So tell me a little bit about like your favorite find.
My favorite find, I get this question asked a lot, but my favorite find is actually a certain type of bottle that I found, and it actually ties to my dad, Jonathan. When I was a kid, my dad was a diver, and he went to the Halifax Harbor quite a bit, and he would come home with these really cool bottles, and then there was this one specific bottle called a Felix J. Quinn, who was like an early Halifax pioneer of a whole bunch of things in our province. And he made bottles, and he sold soda water and ginger beer in them. And my dad came home with a bottle, and I remember thinking as a kid, that's so cool. 30 years later, my dad and I are in Terrence Bay diving together, almost to the day, and I found the same bottle while I'm with my dad. So that bottle means the most because it bridges the gap of 30 years between the father and son.
And I understand now why you do it as well.
Yeah.
You mentioned your mom. She's a viewer of the show. You want to say hi to Mama? You mentioned your dad already. Hi, Mom.
I'm on TV.
You're on TV again.
Yes.
All right, it is time to tell everybody at home now how they can win this amazing hot tub, and you can attest it's pretty great, huh?
Oh, it's highly recommend. I might come with the hot tub, actually.
Yeah, okay, excellent. How cold is the water you usually dive in?
Oh, it's a lot colder than this. It's typically 1 or 2 degrees, sometimes in the colder months, but you know, in the warmer months here, it's often 15, 20 degrees.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay, well, you still need the gear. All right, here we go. Let's tell everybody at home how they can win this gorgeous hot tub. CTV and Arctic Spas want to give you the chance to hop into a hot tub of your very own. One lucky viewer will take home a Yukon hot tub package valued at $31,000, featuring 2 pumps, 40 massage jets, a weather shield cover, a cover lifter, and a Spa Boy saltwater system. To enter, go to ctvatlantic.ca and follow the contest prompts or scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can enter once per day until Saturday, April the 18th. Saltwater Sean, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
When's the next time you're going to take a dive? Not here.
Probably in a few days.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be watching your social media to see
All
what
right,
you come
thank you
up
so
with.
much.
Thanks, Sean. Here is Caitlin.
Well, I think Saltwater Sean has the right idea wearing the wetsuit for today because we didn't have the nicest weather here in the Maritimes. It was a cloudy day. It was cool. It was certainly damp for some areas with some ongoing drizzle and that easterly wind, which we can hear blowing as we're looking out at the cliffs at Glace Bay. I'll have more on the forecast coming up after the break.
Welcome back to CTV News at 5. Kaylin, it's cold outside.
Big
it's
difference.
so cold.
Big difference in the Maritimes between yesterday and today. Yesterday we had the sun breaking through. Temperatures in a lot of cases made it up towards the mid to high teens. Today it remained cloudier and in an east wind and certainly some areas of some drizzle. Not looking too bad here though at this view. This is from the Little Bredor Lake area in Cape Breton. You can see a lot of cloud cover though hanging around, and it's going to be some gray skies that linger for the Maritimes as we make our way through tonight and into tomorrow. I'll talk about why that is as we just take a look at our sunrise and sunset times there for the provincial capitals. So on our weather systems map, currently barometric pressure is about middle of the road. It's sitting around, or just, well, it's sitting around 1,015 millibars for all 3 maritime provinces. Lots of cloud cover, though, indicated here in through the gray. We do have an extended, sort of almost stalled out weather front that extends from the Midwestern United States through southern Ontario. Then it cuts through the northeastern U.S. and then just to the south of the Maritime region. And that front is acting like a little bit of a focus right now for some moisture in the form of some cloud cover and some passing rounds of rain and showers, especially as a couple of low pressure systems kind of move up and along it, a little bit acting like train tracks. So as we take a look at things on radar, as we head through tonight, not only is there going to be some patchy fog and drizzle around, but a few more showers making their way into parts of the Maritimes. So you can see those working in out of Maine right now for western areas of New Brunswick. And as we take a look at our forecast timeline, that's not the only part of the Maritimes likely to get into some shower activity over the next 24 hours. The west of New Brunswick this evening and tonight, but by the start of the day for tomorrow, some showers expected to cross through southwestern areas of Nova Scotia. And even after those clear off towards the east through the day tomorrow, it's going to be very similar to today. A lot of cloud cover around the Maritimes, patchy drizzle, and even some scattered showers. So kind of that spring gloom lingers with us. There'll be another round of rain and showers that moves through Thursday evening and Thursday night. The rain will become steadier for communities in the north of New Brunswick Thursday evening, Edmundston, Campbellton, Dalhousie area, Bathurst, the Acadian Peninsula, and then that band of some somewhat steadier rain will work its way down into central areas of New Brunswick by around midnight, Thursday into Friday, including for Fredericton, down towards Moncton in the southeast, Summerside and the west of Prince Edward Island, and then other areas of PEI and Nova Scotia will be getting into the rain, the showers, as we move overnight and into Friday morning. Taking a look at winds in the forecast for tomorrow, not a lot of change in the wind direction. They're mostly still going to be out of the east, and that's going to help keep that cloud cover in place and, again, give us that continued chance of seeing some drizzle in the region. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for a good portion of the Maritimes will range approximately from the low to mid single digits. And here's a look at the high temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow. In the north of New Brunswick, mostly between 6 and 8 degrees. So through central and southern areas of New Brunswick, the highs between 8 and 12, up to around 10 degrees for Charlottetown and communities in Prince Edward Island for tomorrow. And for Nova Scotia, for coastal areas, most of the temperatures will be in the range of around 6 to 8 degrees. Inland, though, you could get into some high temperatures between 8 and 11. Let's take a look at the forecast for Friday. And at the start of the day, there'll still be some rain and some showers, clearing Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia. But some sun starts to break through, especially for the province of New Brunswick. And that is a sign of what's to come for the start of the weekend, which is looking like more of a fair weather day, a mix of sun and cloud right now in the forecast for Saturday. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 6-year-old Nora Cam from Moncton, New Brunswick. Nora sent us a drawing of some people out for a walk on some very green grass. Hey, there's something the April showers are certainly good for. We also have a blue sky and a pink cloud overhead. Thank you, Nora. Weather watchers can come in anytime to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. So it's National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. CTV's Mike Lamb now shows us it's a chance to acknowledge the people behind the scenes that help 911 callers in an emergency.
We're in Dartmouth at the EHS Medical Communications Center. So this is where we take all of the medical 911s for the province of Nova Scotia. We coordinate the responses for both ground ambulance, EHS Life Flight, our critical care team, as well as all the non-urgent or non-emergency movements throughout the health facilities. So when you call 911, you're first connected with a 911 operator. They'll make sure that they know where you are and the phone number you're calling from. Once they determine if it's police, fire, or medical, if it's medical, it comes through to us. And then from there, we take over and start providing you care the moment we answer the phone. Public Safety Telecommunicators Week is a time when we want to recognize the voice behind the phone call, the people you never see. The role that communications officers play is vitally important. It's the start of the chain. Without them taking that call, the ambulance wouldn't get sent, the care wouldn't get started before ambulance got there. They're vital. They're the beginning. They collect all the information, get it down to the paramedics and the responders, and start providing care to the public and Nova Scotians as soon as they answer the phone.
Ambulance dispatch. When you call in, we can advise you to give aspirin, EpiPen, Narcan if required. We can also walk you through bleeding control instructions. So we can walk you through how we're going to stop that bleeding, control it until paramedics can get there and give you the help that you require. Communications officers can walk you through CPR. We're here to give you the help you need over the phone as soon as we can. Are you with them now? How old are they?
We often don't get an opportunity to recognize the care that they can provide and the good work that they do all the time. To all the communications officers and EMDs at EHS, just thank you so much and great job.
Helps on the way there, okay? I'm just going to run through a few questions with you.
So much gratitude. You don't want to have to call them, but if you do, you're glad that they're on the other line for sure. All right, by the way, if you want to contrast that technology to the way things used to be, right now on our website, we have posted a story about Halifax Police telecommunications technology from 1980. That is in our Video Vault section on our website. You can go there right now for a little blast from the past, how far we've come. All right, time for a break. First, though, a preview of our final story of the evening.
Hi, I'm McCombie here in Halifax. Do you put your phone away while at a restaurant? Is it a rule in your household? Well, some restaurants in the U.S. are making it one. Coming up on CTV News at 5, would it work here in Nova Scotia? We're asking Maritimers coming up.
Bars and restaurants where you lock your phone away have started to pop up around the United States. So how would Maritimers feel about a phones-free establishment? CTV's Emma Convey dials into the conversation.
This restaurant in Halifax dishes out everything from comfort food to East Coast staples. They love being a meeting place for their customers.
I would love for them not to use their phones because I want people to connect with each other when they're sitting down having food. So I prefer if I don't see it, but again, in this day and age, everything's on the phone.
That's not to say they would ban cell phone use altogether, a practice some restaurants in the United States are trying out, where customers are asked to lock them away before entering.
A lot of our people are super against it, you know, with their kids using it while we're all having dinner. So for that reason, I think there might be some places that will imply that. But I don't think it's going to be super, you know, it's not going to take over the industry.
This etiquette expert explains cell phones are not part of the play setting. It's rude to use them while dining.
Basically, you're saying this, whatever is on my telephone or my tablet, my iPad is more important than you that is here with me.
The digital detox isn't happening in Nova Scotia, at least yet.
We haven't seen any restaurants that are doing even like a phone-free hour or shutting down phones completely. I think where restaurants are struggling, they're certainly not going to be giving people a reason that they don't want to go out.
Some places have taken measures to prevent prolonged stays.
We've heard of restaurants or cafes that limit the amount of time people are staying if they're going to work, particularly if they're taking up space and not purchasing more food.
Whatever the case, restaurants are encouraged to give their customers a heads up.
And if a restaurant chose to ban it, I don't think that's a problem, but I probably wouldn't go to that restaurant.
Paying for it, you're going there, and you want to enjoy yourself. So if you have to use your cell phone, use it.
But Nova Scotia diners won't have to worry anytime soon, since it's not even on the table here. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
And that brings us to tonight's web poll. We are asking, would you eat at a restaurant that required diners to hand over their phones during dinner? Your options are simple, yes or no. Go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in, and of course to see the latest poll results. I'm not sure how that one would fly. Here in the Maritimes, I have to admit, I like, especially if I'm not with my kids, I want my kids to be able to reach me, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Or if maybe there's an emergency.
That makes sense.
But
Absolutely.
for an hour and a half, I could probably do without.
Yeah, I'll admit, though, a few times I've had to catch myself being like, you know what? This isn't the time to be on my phone. This is the time to enjoy
the person in front of you.
dinner and company.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that we're going to enjoy, we do have a nice start to the upcoming weekend. We just got to get behind this dreary stretch first, and I'll talk more about that coming up at CTV News at 6.
We'll see you and Todd at 6. I'll see you tomorrow. The national news is next. Good night.